This is Caden, and this is my demo video. So basically, for my domain, I chose Wildcat Welcome, which is Northwestern's orientation system for freshmen and first year transfers. And here are a couple of prompts. So this one is it's when do you register for classes? And it queries the model, and the model responds with specific dates. This is accurate, by the way, and it gives sources for that. Um, one question that the model doesn't do well is this particular question: when does all classes start? Um, and it doesn't say it has enough information on that, even though it is in the chunks. Fall quarter starts um, on September 23rd, 2026. And if that's because the chunks that it queries are generally not ones about fall quarter, but rather ones about like winter quarters. Like if I ask when does winter classes start, I believe it should give me a correct date, and that's correct. Yeah, which is accurate. So this is just a couple of questions um, for using stuff like that. Um, yeah, this is our system. Let me quickly run through the README. So here's the thing, domain, I chose Wildcat Welcome because I thought it was a lot of difficulty trying to figure out what was going on in the first week, and I feel like it could help. These are a couple of my sources that I use. All of them were pretty importantly thought out. This is 400 character chunks because most of our like pages were FAQs, overlap of 75, just to make sure that there wasn't any off like weird cutoffs. These fit well because they're FAQs. We have a total of 293 chunks. I felt like that's a reasonable amount. We use all mini LM. This one for embedding. This might have been a mistake. I probably should have used something more in depth to catch one of those edge cases. You can tell like later. I'll explain why. This was our grounding instruction. So basically, this is what I wrote to make sure that the LLM, if it doesn't have the sufficient information in the vector database, when it queries from it, to say that, oh, I don't know, instead of trying to guess from itself. Um, Here are a couple of evaluations. Here as and their responses over here, yeah, their quality. Here's one of the failed cases. When do fall classes begin? It should have that. In fact, it's in a chunk, but I think the main issue is that um, in our academic calendar, it has a date and it has the thing after it. But if you're checking or chunking on like off like every 400 characters instead of at the start of every sentence, sometimes a date would be in the front, the very first thing the LLM sees, or sometimes the class will be in the first thing the LLM sees, and there's no indication like a colon that indicates which date is with which event. And that will create some type of mix-ups because you could have event and then date and then event afterwards. And then you're just like, well, is this date for the first one or the second one? LLM doesn't know. So one of the things that I would improve on in the future is making sure that when I parse this document, there's a clear indication of which date aligns to which event. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I said here. The spec I felt was quite useful. It was very nice having being able to refer to that and to give it to the LLM to determine help contextualize it, which I felt was very powerful. One thing that like changed though, also like it lets me go and determine when to stop, which I felt was very nice. One thing that I changed was like one thing the LM wanted to do is wanted to like one shot everything with the spec, and it's like okay, well, let's take everything and then immediately chunk it, but I had to go change it to make it manually chunk. Here are a couple of examples. I just mentioned that one of when I overrode AI, and the second one, the system prompt wasn't strong enough, so I had to make it stronger afterwards. But yeah, that's my project.